the edge of the woods, behind the Creed's new house, is the old animal graveyard, the place where devoted pets are laid to rest.
Daddy, is church all right?
What is this place?
I brought you here to bury Alan's cat.
I dreamed he got hit by a car and you and Mr. Crandall buried him.
Why, Judd?
I had my reasons.
What did we do tonight, Judd?
What we did, Lois, was a secret.
But some don't stay.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Why no one ever buried a human being out there.
You're thinking of putting him up there. Don't deny the thought hadn't crossed your mind.
And why nothing ever rests in peace.
If it doesn't work, I'll just put him back to sleep. Come back to me, Gage. Come back to us.
Paramount Pictures presents Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror.
Gage?
First I play with Judd. And Mommy came and I play with Mommy. We had an awful good time.
What did you do?
Pet Cemetery.
Now I'm gonna play with you.
He was so grief-struck. He buried his son up there before he ever had a chance to get the bottom of the truth.
I'll bite, Judd. What's the bottom of the truth?
Well, sometimes that is better.
Yes, sometimes dead is better. And that's one of the famous lines in Pet Sematary, which has become one of King's most beloved and most talked about books, spawning the hit film in 1989. And they had a remake in 2019. We won't really talk about the remake, but let's get into a few facts about Pet Sematary. So Stephen King moved his family into a home in Orrington, Maine, and everything about the arrangement was fine except for the road that ran past the rural house. It was just like the road in Pet Sematary. It was full of fast, heavy trucks and frequently claimed the lives of local pets. As a result, a pet cemetery was established in the woods by local children, and according to the King, it really did bear the sign that read Pet Cemetery. Another plot element from Pet Sematary that King borrowed from his real life was the presence of the kind neighbor. A neighbor actually had a hand in helping King compose the book. In this case, it was a neighbor named Julio DeSantis, who owned a store across from the King's home. It was DeSantis who gave the King the line, "That road has used up a lot of animals." While he might never have said dead is better, DeSantis did provide King with the space necessary to write his story. Now, Stephen King took his residency at the University of Maine, and Louis Creed, who was in the movie The Doctor, moves to his house to take a job at the same university. King chose to set Pet Sematary in a fictional town located in the same area of the state. He chose the name Ludlow for his town and situated it both near Orono and near his own other fictional towns, Castle Rock, which was a setting of Cujo and Needful Things, and Derry, of course, the setting for It. So in the movie, there are some references to Stephen King's other projects, such as when Judd Crandall refers to a St. Bernard who went rabid downstate a couple of years ago and killed 4 people, obviously referencing Cujo. Rachel Creed is urgently driving home when she passes an exit sign that lists Jerusalem's Lot among its destination. Well, Jerusalem's Lot, that's a setting for the vampire novel Salem's Lot. Now, the original script for the movie featured the Wendigo, which is a Native American demon. It was mentioned in the novel, but it was ultimately cut from the film. However, its presence is implied only twice in the movie. First, in the scene where Lewis is walking through the woods at night and hears something large knock down a tree. The second is when Judd first takes Lewis up to the Indian burial ground. There's some kind of loud crash deep in the forest, followed by a howl. So Judd says it's a loon, but that doesn't quite match. Now, two interesting side notes. George Romero was originally set to direct the movie, but when filming was delayed, he had to drop out. And then also, the role of Louis Creed was going to originally be offered to Bruce Campbell. It was the first choice. So it would have been amazing to have a story from George Romero and Bruce Campbell involved as well.
My sister Zelda.
I know, she died. Spinal meningitis.
She was in the back bedroom like a dirty secret. My sister died in the back bedroom, and that's what she was. A dirty secret. I had to feed her sometimes. I hated it.
Now, Zelda was actually a very terrifying character and was Rachel's dying sister and was played by a man. The director, Mary Lambert, wanted this character to frighten audiences, but didn't think that a 13-year-old girl would be scary enough, so she casted Andrew Hobosek in the role to make something be off about Zelda. And definitely it did work. Now, Mary Lambert was friends with Dee Dee Ramone and obviously gave them a call and said, hey, look, we got a movie. We need some lyrics. We need a song. And of course, we got Pet Sematary, which was one of the most successful songs the Ramones ever released.
Not when the cold wind blows, no one cares, nobody knows. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again.
Now, the grave that they made in the Pet Sematary music video that they were slowly descending into almost collapsed, and it would have buried the band and the crew. They had to build a platform that could be lowered with a man lift to support the band. And so the grave had to be super deep because of the man lifts are like 5 to 6 feet high. So the grave had to be another 6 to 8 feet deep. So it was quite an engineering feat. And one of the things that was scary was that there was no way to get a remote to operate the lift from outside the grave. So they actually had to be inside the grave and operate it at the same time. Once they had the band and all the equipment on the man lift, it could have collapsed and they would have been buried down below. So, but we didn't have that. We had Pet Sematary. 58 million worldwide box office against a production budget of 11.5 mil. Makes it a very successful film. But I gotta ask you, would you want to be buried in the Pet Cemetery?
I don't